What's happening, boys and gals? Welcome back to the channel, and today I finally got my hands on the ever so elusive Victory HLR 5mm arrows. I feel like I'm holding the holy grail of hunting arrows for this year because this has been definitely one of the top 2 most highly requested arrows for arrow builds, for pre-fletch, for just in general. People can't get enough of these apparently, or they don't know if they're going to like them and they really want to try them. So without further ado, yes, I already ripped the plastic. So all I gotta do is pop open the Ziploc baggie, and there we are. Is that like $19, $18 a shaft, something like that? I mean, as far as looks in general, it's super clean. It's not overly flashy. This weave makes you dizzy looking at it, for being honest, because it's such a tight weave. Once again, this is a 5mm arrow. They have a lot of spines available. I got my sticky notes ready. So these beauties right here are going to be available from a 200 spine all the way down to a 500 spine or up, however you want to look at it. 200 spine is going to come in at a whopping 9.8 GPI. A 250 spine is going to be 8.7 GPI, which is crazy because most of your 300s and 340 spines are in that 8.7 GPI range. 300 spine is going to be a 8.1. 350 spine is going to be a 7.3. 400 spine is going to be a 6.9. And a 500 spine is going to be a 6.5. And they're all going to come standard with... Oh, still in the bag. Guess I should have just got the rest of them out. Come on, where you at? There you are. The suspense is killing everybody, I know it. This 50 grain stainless half out, which is a little bit different than your typical shock half out. It doesn't quite sleeve over the carbon as much. So I'm interested to see how these perform. I kind of like it. It's a much shorter design than the shock. That's one thing about an aluminum half out, or really any half out, is the longer you make it, the more likely it is to bend on impact, especially if you hit something you're not supposed to, like a rock or a tree. Shorter, stumpier, lower center of gravity, stronger structural integrity. That's what I'm digging about this so far, and the fact that it's stainless steel and not aluminum, that's a plus too. Since we're on the topic of components, wrong sticky note, one of these days I'm going to be like Josh and have a really big whiteboard, but I'm going to get a bigger one than him. So if you want to go as light as possible, you can go with a 21 grain aluminum that they offer for these arrows. They do offer the 50 and 75 grain shock insert option, or half out, whatever you want to call it, for these arrows. And they also offer a 60 grain stainless steel half out as well. And they're going to come standard with an AAE knock, which I'm a big fan of those things. And just like any other Victory arrow, these are going to be available in 3 different straightnesses. You're going to have your Elites, which is going to be your 001, which is going to be your straightest consistency of carbon that they offer, or that anybody offers. Then you're going to have a 003 in the gamers and a 006 in the sports. Prices are going to differentiate themselves, just a little bit between one straightness and the other, just like all the other Victory arrows. But we are actually currently stocking the 300 spine Elites. That's all we could get our hands on. They're on our website, feathersandantlersoutdoors.com. Get them before they're gone, because they're actually almost gone as we speak. So first come, first serve. Now here's what's incredible about this arrow. For anybody who knows anything about FOC, you know that in order to get a higher FOC, which is typically what you want. No, not typically. It is what you want, whether you know you want it or not. You need it. To get a higher FOC percentage, you're going to want a lighter GPI, grains per inch arrow, which is what this is, so that you can build weight on the front of your arrow, which is going to get your FOC percentage up, which is going to get you more pass-throughs. A lot of people kind of go a little overboard with the heavy arrow build thing. Not saying it's wrong, not saying you can't do it. It's a free country. I'm not judging. If you got fairy dust on you, that's fine. I mean, it works. I'm not saying it doesn't, I promise. My only argument with guys out there that are going to build 600, 700, 800 grain arrows that aren't, ginormous people, which even then is still overkill. You can get the same amount of FOC with a 500 grain total arrow weight or less as you can with a 600, 700 grain total arrow weight. And that's, to me, why wouldn't you go that route? I mean, unless you just never want to shoot over 25 yards, then yeah, build yourself a torpedo arrow. I don't care. And people are going to say, well, Scotty, what if I hit bone? Well, what if you practice more? But even then, when you go with a lighter GPI arrow, golly, I keep on looking at that carbon and getting dizzy. I got to stare at my ceiling. What I'm saying is you can go with a light GPI arrow like this, which I'm very excited about this arrow, and load up the front. And when I say load up, I'm talking stick with the 50 grain half out that comes with it, or if you want to beef it up to a 75 grain half out. And Victory also has the screw and weights if you want to add even more FOC. But think about it, you throw a 100 grain head on top of that, you've already got 150 or 175 grains up front on a light GPI arrow, so it's going to give you a high percentage FOC, which is going to increase your penetration. On top of that, this does have that ICE technology. I don't know why I always say all three letters. It's spelled ICE, which makes it super slick, which also helps with penetration and pulling out of 3D targets. And I don't know if y'all can see that, if it's focused or not, because I'm always self-filming, but right there it has the Spine-Align, which as an arrow builder, and especially for somebody that does their own arrows at home, that is lovely. And for people wondering if Victory just threw that design on the wrap in the middle of the arrow, no, it's actually strategically placed where the Spine-Align goes. I have tested hundreds of different Victory arrows, and if they're not dead up, they're maybe just a little to the left or a little to the right, but not enough to write home about. Also, one of the things that obviously sets an arrow apart from other arrows is the components and how consistent or inconsistent they are as far as grainage and tolerances. And what I'm going to do here is I'm about to move the camera over here. I'm going to grab my Last Chance Archery grainage scale, and I want to weigh all 12 of these half outs that came right out of this pack. Y'all saw me pull them out. I already did a TikTok earlier. I know 6 of these are the exact same, but I didn't do all 12. And you know, just the fact that half of them were all the exact same down to the decimal is pretty impressive. So I want to bat for the cycle and see if all 12 are that close. All right, we got our scale set up. So let's see what we're going to get. Got a 50.3. Whoops. Drop one on the floor. Might knock some grains off. Nope, 50.3. That's why I like stainless steel. All right, keep on rolling. All right, 3 for 3. 4 for 4. 5 for 5. Oh my. All right. So those might have been the 6 I tested earlier. They're all the same. Oh, we got 7 in a row. There we go. Make sure that's zeroed out. All right. 8. Scales want to get a little funky. 9. Oh my goodness. 10. If all 12 of these are the exact same weight down to the decimal. Oh my gosh. Oh, Victory, don't let me down now. Son of a biscuit eater. All 12 of them are the exact same down to the decimal. Considering the amount of features and the components that come with this arrow, I'm going to expect to sell out of these pretty much every time we get them in stock. We've got a ton of them on order. We're doing the best we can, and Victory's obviously doing the best they can. If you find them, I would highly recommend giving them a shot. I feel like a lot of guys that have been shooting the rips throughout the years are going to find this arrow very enticing. And also some guys that have been shooting some standard diameter arrows. This would be a phenomenal arrow to upgrade, because I think you're going to see a noticeable difference in your penetration and your consistency if you've never shot an arrow that's a 001 or 003 straightness. Kind of wish these were my personal pack, but they're not. They're going to be going back in the pack and going back to the shop tomorrow, because we already sold like 4 dozen the first 5 minutes that these were on our website. So once again, check them out on feathersandantlersoutdoors.com. Of course, if you're local, which I hope you're a local guy seeing this video, come in the shop. We got them available, obviously, in bare shafts and in pre-fletched. Drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about this arrow. If you think it's going to be the cat's meow for the next couple years on the 5mm, or if you think there's something better out there.